We're starting off week 2 of fantasy football with the waiver wire. We talked about running backs and tight ends earlier today. Today we're doing a deep dive on the wide receivers. We're doing 20-some deep here for your shallow leagues, for your deep leagues. You get a little bit of everything in this video, so you got something to help you out. Before we dig in though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing deep dives every day on all the trending players. We're looking at the waiver wire almost every single day throughout the week, so you can find those pickups. We're helping you set your lineups by looking at the matchups, player rankings, and then also we're doing battle videos this year, which is something new. Click that button. Stop missing out. It's free. It's only going to help you as well. First player we're looking at here, off the waiver wire, wide receiver. And he should be rostered in a lot of leagues, but he's also in a lot of waiver wire articles. And it's Marquise Brown. 96% rostered on Sleeper. But you look at the air yards there, 94. 16 targets, 10 catches, 100 yards. Big play late in that game. I expect him to be rostered, but if he's there, he is auto pickup. If you can get him. You're going to have to spend a lot of fab. You may not want to do that, but the next few weeks, there ain't much competition. It's going to be him soaking up a lot of targets in this offense. We got some matchups here that could slow down the pace. But still, what else you going to do at wide receiver that's more safe than this with this much upside? Quentin Johnston cashed against the Chiefs. 7 targets, 5 balls caught, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, almost 100 air yards, 8 out of 14 won. He was looking good, a 21% target share. Quentin Johnston looking solid, but he's got competition with Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen. I could see those wide receivers taking turns on who's the man every given Sunday. So you do not know how many games he's actually going to hit for you, but I bet he's got a good 3 to 5 in him, that he's giving you good production. He might give you so-so production on some of the others, probably some flatline production here and there, but I look for him to be better than last year. Keenan Allen racked up 10 targets, got a touchdown, scored almost 20 PPR fantasy points, got 90 air yards in this matchup, and 8 out of 9. So he's going to be soaking up a lot of the shorter targets, getting a lot of volume, but the veteran's still handy out there, still getting opportunities. He's rostered in 99% of leagues, though, so I doubt he's still on the waiver wire, but some of these Chargers have to be. Kayshon Boutte is the guy I'm chasing. I do not believe he's going to cost you too much fab. It's going to be a little bit, but not too much, where it's going to break your bank. And he killed it last week with 8 targets, 6 balls caught, 103 yards. At one time, he was one of the best wide receivers in college football. Then he got hurt. We racked up 139 air yards and 8 out of 17.4. We're getting it deep downfield. We got a target share of 19%, where the ball's spreading around between Douglas and Diggs, but he's still getting his. You got the Dolphins coming up. They should be able to shred them. Drake should be looking good. Kayshon Boutte, if you can get him, especially at a good cost, like less than 10%, he's going to be around that 10% range, though. But if you can get less than that, that's going to be a hell of a deal considering how many routes he's going to run per game, because he led the team in routes ran for the last 8 to 10 weeks of the season. Cedric Tillman is another cheap wide receiver you could potentially get. I expect him to be rostered because I had so many start-sit questions on him. I see him in the waiver wire articles. 71 air yards, 8 targets. We had the volume out to get there. 31% share of the air yards, 8.9 ADOT. But I expect him to hit double digits most week on the ADOT. Target share 20%, which is very solid. I like Tillman. I think he's going to pair well with Flacco. I don't like the Browns, though. I think he will be volatile this season. Romeo Doubs, if for some reason he's still there, you're seeing the questionables with all those wide receivers, and he got 68 yards off 4 targets, 86 air yards in this matchup with an 8 out of 21.5, getting some volume here with an 18% target share, sitting there free off the waiver wire if everybody's already been gotten and he's not rostered. That's a wide receiver to pay attention to. You got Washington coming up. You got Cleveland on the road. You got Dallas on the road. Then a bye week. You got Cincy. You may not need him, but he's a guy that you can use in a pinch. Wan'Dale Robinson is a wide receiver to pay attention to. You're looking at his target share of 30%. Pretty much him and Malik Neighbors is getting all the work. Neighbors got 9 targets. He got 8 targets. 6 balls caught, 55 yards, hung 11.5 PPR fantasy points. That's not a ton, but he's going to get a lot of work in this offense. And the thing is, he's got some good matchups coming up. He's going to get a good target share. They might have some quarterback changes, but he's been a huge staple in this offense for years. His average depth of target was 3.2, which was piss poor. But he's going to get volume. He's going to get targets. So when you put him in your lineup, when you have to, you can just close your eyes and pray to the gods. And right now, you just put $1 or so in or wait for waivers to roll and pick him up if possible. And you're getting a wide receiver that's going to easily get a 20+% target share and a lot of work each week. JuJu Smith-Schuster. I'm not super high on him, but he did get some work in this game. 5 targets, 5 balls caught, 55 yards. The ball might roll his way in some of these matchups. He might catch some opportunity. He's going to be a gamble throwing in lineups. I can't say he's a star anytime. 5.88 out, not getting targets downfield. So he's going to have to rack up volume or more likely just touchdowns for him to be viable for fantasy football. But if you're looking for another Chiefs wide receiver that's a little cheaper than Marquise Brown, or if Brown's already gotten, here you go. But I got another one coming up. Elic Ayomanor. Got 7 targets, got a lot of work in this game in a rough matchup against the Denver Broncos. Caught 2 balls for 13 yards. It turned out to be nothing for fantasy football, but 133 air yards. On top of that, you're looking at the target share of 28%. This could be a trend. You also got more favorable matchups coming up. He earned his position on the depth chart. This is a wide receiver that burnt Travis Hunter, and this is a good wide receiver that should have got drafted higher, I believe. I think he should have went in the 3rd or 2nd round. I think this was a steal for the Titans. You see Cam Ward looking his way a lot. 7 targets in his first game, 8 out of 19. They are pushing it downfield. He is getting volume. Outside of him and Ridley, no other wide receivers are really getting it. He out-targeted Tyler Lockett. That is another good sign. And when they're locking down Ridley, they're going to be looking at Ayomanor. This is a wide receiver to pick up if you're looking for a dart throw. Josh Palmer, if he's still there. He was rostered in a lot of leagues. He had good ADP on Underdog. I don't believe he's going to be there. He's in on a lot of waiver wire articles. 117 air yards on Sunday night. Caught 5 balls, 61 yards. Nothing tremendous, but got 9 targets in that matchup. Remember, there was like 80-some points scored in that game. So I don't expect that kind of volume every single weekend. But if you're looking at the targets here with these wide receivers, Coleman 11, Palmer 9, Shakir 8. I would guess we're going to get a good carousel effect. That's a term I invented where you got a quarterback who does not care which wide receiver is open. He's going to sling it. You got 3 wide receivers just taking turns. Any wide receiver is going to get it on any given Sunday. Looks like we're going to push for that with these wide receivers because Shakir has good history here. Palmer's already getting it and got good buzz in camp. Coleman's already lighting it up. It looks like he's taking a year to ascension. Other wide receivers, when that wide receiver hits, can also do well in fantasy football, but you just do not know 100% which guy's going to lead the targets and which guy's going to blow up because the quarterback doesn't care and he's just going to spread it around. And they got the talent to do so. Troy Franklin got the work. 6 targets, 4 balls caught, 44 yards. Last year, he was targeted on like 22% of his routes ran. I want to look at those numbers, but him and Bo Nix has a report from Oregon. That's not a new concept. That's been out there. When he's out there on the field, Bo Nix looks his way. We saw that last year. He was a flyer in drafts. Looks like we're trending up. It was not a great game script, but we got some good ones coming up where we could catch some firepower in these matchups. Bo Nix wasn't good in this game. Again, not many fantasy points, but the workload's there. 51 air yards, you don't like that, but you do like the amount of targets. You do like the 17% target share when you're working with Courtland Sutton, who's soaking up all the targets with a 25% target share. Tyquan Thornton. This is the Chiefs wide receiver I'm paying attention to the most. He had over 100 air yards in this matchup, racked up 4 targets. He's going to be a gamble week to week, but he's going to be getting some workload here and there. He's going to be running a lot of routes. Where else is the ball going to go? Who else is going to be pushing it deep? Marquise Brown will get deep targets, but he can't get all of them. There's going to be some games where he splashes, and if I got room, this is a lottery ticket dart throw for some of your lineups. Marvin Mims getting some targets here. He's got 4. He's got speed to burn. Not getting too much work, though, at 53% snap rate, but 4 targets, 3 balls caught. This is a wide receiver we've been paying attention to. He scores points in big moments, and he scores points in spurts. He's a guy to look at in deeper leagues. Rashod Bateman, your basic 12-man league, no. Maybe a push in your 14-man league, but the thing about him, you want to go back to last year, is he'll score in random weeks. And the reason why is he gets a good average depth of target. He got 12.3 this week, which is another indicator that he's going to be getting deep targets downfield. And when they connect deep with him, he scores, or he just gets those big moments where he racks up fantasy points like 10, 12, 15, 20 on like 2 catches, 3 catches, 5 catches. When he racks up a little bit more, he could hit big on you. Kind of hard right now to start, but those are numbers you want to pay attention to. Adam Thielen. Hard to have around on a 12-man league, but you know he's going to ramp it up. We got to watch the routes ran. If you're in a deeper league, eventually he's going to get his opportunity. He's going to get red zone looks. Justin Jefferson, 7 targets to the 2 targets going to Naylor and Thielen. That being said, we know where the ball's going once Addison comes back. Addison and Jefferson, it's going to be hard to get the wide receiver 3. Xavier Legette got 7 targets, 3 balls caught, 10 yards, 4.3 speed, got a lot of work in this matchup, not a lot of air yards, a 9.2 ADOT. They're keeping him around the line of scrimmage, hoping he breaks something free. This game script broke a little bit, but that's going to break a lot for the Panthers. He's going to get red zone looks throughout the season because they're going to utilize that 6'3", 230-pound body of his. He's getting a lot of work, a 20% target share, cheap and free off the waiver wire. A former first-round pick, a 20% target share that you can get after your waiver wire runs. That's something to look at. Jayden Higgins led the team here. 3 targets, 2 balls caught, 32 yards. That's how bad that game was. So really, things are going to change once things start working with this offense. That's how bad that game was. So really, you can't really look at that. He got 52 air yards, led the team with that. That's horrible. Had a 30% share of the air yards, 12% target share. So really was not killing it when he was out there. But Higgins is another wide receiver to pay attention to. This team pushes it downfield. They started Hutchinson. That was something to pay attention to as well. Hutchinson did nothing out there as he caught 2 balls for 30 yards, so 2 yards less. But again, the second-round wide receivers got ball skills. And if you're in a deeper league, this is another young guy to pay attention to. DeMario Douglas got 7 targets in this game. However, depending on what site you look at, Fantasy Life, PFF, they'll call it 5. If you look at ESPN, they'll call it 7. Really depends on what you're looking at. So if you want to call it 7 and I call it 5, if I call it 5 and you call it 7, that's all good. But we're going to get work here in the passing game. We're going to get some opportunities. It's going to be close to the line of scrimmage. As you see, the ADOT of 5.4 and -2 air yards. I'm not chasing that. There's not a lot of upside there, especially with Diggs there soaking up a lot of targets. Kayshon Boutte getting a lot of work as well. I'm probably passing unless I'm in a deeper league. Calvin Austin getting some work here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 90 air yards, a 21% target share, 6 targets. And he could be an outlet here for Aaron Rodgers because they're going to have DK Metcalf locked up on some plays. And you can't go to DK Metcalf 100% of the time. It's elite to go to him 30 to 40% of the time. So targets got to go somewhere else. It could go to Roman Wilson, but it didn't. So Calvin Austin has speed to burn. This could be a wide receiver that emerges this year and has some good spotty production. I do not expect the Steelers to be in shootouts every week. That is a rare occurrence here for the Steelers with how slow paced they are. But again, if you're looking for a wide receiver, this is a guy to look at. Luther Burdens is a stash play, and he got 1 target. But again, this is a first-round caliber wide receiver that fell to the second round. Killed it in training camp, but he missed a lot of training camp as well. So you're paying attention to him from afar. If you got him as a stash, you're holding on to him as long as possible. But he's a stash play wide receiver. Isaac TeSlaa is also a stash play wide receiver. He's not considered for your lineup unless you're throwing him in there and praying to the gods that he brings in that deep ball. He did it. He got a touchdown. 1 catch, 13 yards, and a touchdown. He got you 8.3 fantasy points. Almost the same amount of his snap rate. That being said, Isaac TeSlaa, that's what he is until more happens or one of these wide receivers go down. You're looking at Raymond getting 3 targets in this matchup. You got Jamin with 5, Ayomanor with 5. This was a weird game script. Again, he's a deep ball dandy. You're going to be chasing those air yards. Tory Horton got nothing here. Everything went to Jackson Smith and Jigba and a little bit to Cooper Kupp, and that was it to the wide receivers. That can't happen every game. That can't happen every game. Something's going to have to give. Horton's going to be getting deep targets downfield. He's slotted as the wide receiver 3. Give him a little bit time, but he's also a good stash play in softer matchups. He was out there on 54% of the snap. Those are the wide receivers that we're looking at today. I'm sorry if I didn't go deep enough, but just pick up the wide receiver you like at that point because we talked about all of them, but I probably missed one. My bad on that. But let me know who you're picking up in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.